Hey everyone, ready to dive into something kind of unexpected? We're tackling credit cards today. And no, I'm not talking about the cut them up and run advice.
Right, it's easy to demonize plastic, but your research actually has me thinking differently.
That's what we're here for. So we all know the cautionary tales, right? Credit card debt, the whole scary shebang. But your research hints at another side to this.
It does. While irresponsible use obviously leads down a bad path, the sources emphasize how smart credit card use can be advantageous, even over debit or cash.
Okay, so less credit cards are evil, more like knowing how to use them is key.
Exactly. It's about strategic utilization for, get this, potential financial gain.
Now you've got my attention. Let's say I'm ready to ditch the fear and explore this whole credit card thing strategically. Where do we even begin?
Well, one thing I found really interesting is sign-up bonuses. We've all seen the ads, right?
Yeah.
But imagine, just for using a new card for your usual expenses, you get, say, $150.
Hold on, just for using it normally? Like, those offers are legit.
Essentially, yes. Usually, there are some hoops, like spending a minimum amount in a set time. But manage it well, and boom, it's free money.
All right, you've got my attention. So besides these sign-up bonuses, what other credit card secrets are out there?
Remember when getting 1% cash back felt like a big win?
Oh, totally. Like you were a financial genius.
Well, your research shows how cashback cards have seriously leveled up. Some now offer up to 8% back.
Wait, 8%? That's got to be a typo. What's the catch?
You're right to be skeptical. High percentage cards often have caveats, annual fees, spending caps, or maybe that 8% is only for certain categories like groceries. But still, that's serious return on everyday spending.
Right. This is more than just swiping plastic. It's a strategy game. And what about those reward points everyone's always talking about? How do those actually work?
Think of them like a bonus system. Many cards give you points per dollar spent, often with multipliers for, say, dining, travel, even gas. It depends on the card.
So if I'm a foodie always trying new restaurants, I should be looking for a card with bonus points for dining out.
Exactly. Find a card that matches your spending habits so you're effortlessly racking up points. And the fun part, redeem them for travel, gift cards, even statement credits. It's like a secret treasure map for your spending.
All right, I'm starting to see the appeal. Now, this makes me think about those frequent flyer programs. Those have been around forever, right?
Yeah.
Do they still hold up in this new world of rewards?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your research actually dug into their history, tracing back to the 80s with American Airlines partnering with Citibank, letting people earn miles even without flying.
Wow, revolutionary for its time.
Right. And today, almost every airline has a co-branded credit card, each with its own earning structure, perks, not to mention those sign-up bonus miles. Some get you close to a free flight just for meeting the initial spending requirement.
Like free travel just for using the card right. I'm sensing a theme here. It's not enough to just have a credit card. You got to be smart about it.
Exactly. It's not about haphazardly collecting miles or points. It's knowing how to maximize their value. Picking the right card, using those sign-up bonuses strategically. There's a whole strategy to uncover here.
This is blowing my mind, honestly. We might need a whole separate deep dive just on frequent flyer programs, but for now I'm curious about some of the less obvious credit card advantages. There's something in here about a safety net. That sounds a little ominous. What is that all about?
It's not ominous, actually more like a perk. Think of it as an extra layer of security compared to debit cards or cash.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Imagine this. You lose your wallet, poof, gone. Inside is your debit card, cash, everything. Someone could drain your account before you even realize it's missing.
Okay, that's a nightmare scenario for sure.
Now, with a credit card, if unauthorized charges pop up, you report them. In most cases, you're not liable for those fraudulent transactions. The credit card company investigates and sorts it out, so you're not left footing the bill for someone else's spending spree.
So it's like a buffer between my money and those with less than noble intentions. That's a relief.
Precisely. Like a financial guardian angel looking out for you.
And speaking of protection,
Financial guardian angel, I'm all about it. What other tricks do these credit cards have up their sleeves?
well, they can be pretty powerful when it comes to resolving disputes, like if a merchant doesn't deliver what they promised.
Oh, you mean like when you hire a contractor based on those glowing online reviews and it turns out to be a total disaster?
Yeah.
Or when that amazing online deal arrives and it looks nothing like the picture?
Exactly. Imagine paying a contractor a big chunk of change with your debit card and things go south. Getting that money back can feel impossible. But with a credit card, you've got some leverage.
Okay, I'm sensing a but coming and I'm ready for it. Tell me more about this leverage.
You can actually dispute the charge. The credit card company can withhold payment from that shady contractor while they investigate. It's like having a financial referee on your side. So instead of feeling helpless, I've got backup. The credit card company steps in and says, hold on, contractor, let's make sure everything's above board. That's a game changer, especially when you're dealing with bigger purchases or services.
It really highlights the difference between handing over your debit card versus strategically using a credit card.
And speaking of strategic, have we talked about the grace period yet?
Right. That brief, beautiful window where I can pretend a purchase hasn't hit my bank account yet. But seriously, isn't that just about dodging late fees?
It's way more than that. It's about understanding those little details that can give you an advantage, like earning a bit of extra interest.
Hold on. Extra interest from a grace period. How does that work?
Think about it. You buy something today with your credit card, right?
Yeah.
But you don't actually have to pay for it for, say, 3 weeks.
Okay, that's the standard grace period. I get it.
So for those 3 weeks, your money sits tight in your bank account, potentially earning a little interest. It might not seem like much, but those small amounts add up. It's like this hidden bonus level in the game of personal finance that I never knew existed.
It's all about those small advantages. And here's another one that might surprise you. A lot of credit cards come with built-in insurance.
Wait, what? My credit card doubles as a personal bodyguard now. I've been buying separate travel insurance this whole time, and you're telling me I didn't have to?
You might be surprised. It's one of those perks that often gets overlooked. Many credit cards offer rental car insurance, travel insurance, even those extended product warranties that they always try to sell you separately. It's often just included.
Okay, you're blowing my mind here. So by using the right credit card, I could potentially be saving money on all sorts of insurance.
It's definitely worth digging into. Of course, coverage and terms vary, so you always want to check the fine print and understand what you're getting. But it's a prime example of how credit cards offer this hidden value that most people don't even realize.
I feel like I've been living under a rock. This is eye-opening.
It's all about being a savvy consumer and knowing how to play the game. And speaking of navigating the world, we have to talk about global acceptance. Credit cards are pretty much essential for international travel, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100%. I learned that the hard way a few years back. Let's just say that trying to get around a foreign country with just my debit card was not ideal. What makes credit cards so universally accepted abroad?
It's a few things. Firstly, they offer merchants, especially in places like hotels or rental car companies, that extra level of security, It's like
Yeah.
they can put a hold on a credit card for potential damages or whatever, which isn't as easy to do with a debit card.
So it's all about minimizing risk, not just for me, but for them too.
Exactly. Plus, when you think about different currencies, language barriers, all that, having a credit card that's accepted everywhere just makes life so much easier.
It's like having a financial passport, a universal language that transcends borders.
You nailed it. And speaking of a universal language, let's switch gears for a sec and talk about something that often confuses people. Building credit. We were talking earlier about ditching the fear surrounding credit cards, right? Well, building a solid credit history is a great way to do just that.
Right. I've always been a bit fuzzy on this whole credit score thing. How does using a credit card responsibly translate into a good score? It seems a bit backward.
It's a common misconception. Basically, it all comes down to showing that you're a responsible borrower. When you use your credit card and pay those bills on time, in full, it shows lenders you're trustworthy, that you can handle credit responsibly.
So I'm building a positive reputation, proving that I can be trusted with their money.
Exactly. And lenders look at that track record, which is reflected in your credit report. Think of it as your financial report card.
Okay. And just like in school, a good report card means more opportunities.
Precisely. A positive credit history can unlock better loan rates, higher credit limits, and it even affects things like renting an apartment or getting insurance. It all ties together.
This is eye-opening. It's not just about the immediate gratification of buying something now. It's about setting myself up for a better financial future.
Now you're getting it. It's about taking the long view and realizing that responsible credit card use can be a powerful tool for building that solid foundation, one that'll benefit you for years to come. But it's important to remember.
There's always a flip side, right? Every rose has its thorns. What about the potential downsides of credit cards? Let's talk about those.
You're absolutely right. Like any powerful tool, it's all about using them wisely. One thing people often overlook is merchant fees.
Merchant fees, I'm not sure I'm familiar with those. What are we talking about here?
It's a bit behind the scenes, but basically every time you swipe your card, the retailer often has to pay a small percentage of that transaction back to the credit card company.
So the stores are paying for the convenience of me using my credit card? I never thought about it like that.
It's easy to miss, right? And while it doesn't directly affect you as the consumer, it's worth knowing some retailers might offer a small discount if you pay with cash to avoid those fees altogether.
That's good to know. I'll be on the lookout for those cash-only deals. But let's be real, the biggest downside has to be that temptation to overspend, right? That's the big one everyone warns about.
Absolutely. It's the classic credit card trap. When you're not physically handing over cash, it's easy to lose track of how much you're spending. And that's when those balances can really creep up on you.
It's like this silent budget killer lurking in the shadows. One minute, you're feeling financially savvy, racking up those rewards, and the next, you're drowning in credit card debt.
Which is why responsible use is absolutely key. It all comes down to knowing yourself, knowing your limits, and not spending more than you can comfortably pay off when that bill comes due.
It's a delicate dance, isn't it? Finding that balance between enjoying the convenience and the perks of credit cards without letting them lead you down a path of overspending and debt.
You got it. Think of it this way. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, right? You use the right tool for the job. Credit cards are a tool, and in the right hands, they can be incredibly powerful for managing your finances, but you have to use them wisely.
I love that analogy. It perfectly sums up everything we've talked about today. It's about being an informed and empowered consumer, making choices that align with your financial goals.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, it looks like we've reached the end of our credit card deep dive. We've explored the good, the bad, and everything in between. Hopefully, our listeners are walking away with a newfound understanding of this often misunderstood financial tool.
I think it's safe to say that credit cards are a lot more nuanced than most people realize.
Absolutely. It's not about fearing them, it's about understanding them. So to everyone listening, remember, knowledge is power. Until next time, stay informed, spend responsibly, and keep those credit cards working in your favor.